I think I'm classically a Hufflepuff in the sense that I don't fit completely into any other category. My mom joked that I was a jack of all trades, pretty good at a lot of things, but I wasn't incredible at any one of them. The category for people who don't fit into any of the other categories. I think that's partly why I'm a Hufflepuff. My name's Ian Scura. I'm from Concord, New Hampshire. So, yeah, a local New Englander. And I am a keeper slash chaser on the Quidditch team. I have two older brothers. One is 8 years older than me. The other one's 10 years older. I'm kind of an only slash youngest child. One of my older brothers went to Middlebury, and so I went and visited him a couple times with my parents, and we watched him play Quidditch. I was so into Quidditch that I would invite 13 of my friends over, and it would be 7-on-7 Quidditch games. So 11, 12-year-old me running around with a broom between my legs, pretending to be in the Harry Potter world, thought that it would be a perfect idea to go to a school where that was invented. Both my parents went to college, and even though my parents didn't intend for this to happen, being the successful people that I view them as, I put the pressures on myself to be good at everything that I did, and it's not a reasonable goal to have of yourself. For like the first 3/4 of the year, junior year of high school, I struggled with depression. I put my head down between classes, and then as soon as final bell rang of the day, I walked to my sports practice. And as soon as that was over, I walked back home and did all my homework. And then I went to bed. And if I had to stay up really late, I stayed up really late. And I didn't really consider how that was affecting me. I mean, taking 5 minutes to look up and have a pleasant conversation with your teacher about what it is you're learning, and having a conversation with your friend about how their day was, are things that really help, and that you don't always think about how important they are until you stop having those interactions. I think a lot of what my issue was just having confidence in myself. I would talk to myself poorly. I would say things in my head like, oh, you're not good enough. You need to work even harder. I was so afraid of failing that I just kind of bottled everything up and didn't tell anyone how much I was struggling. So I have 3 particularly close friends from high school still, and one of them in particular I grew up with my entire life. We'd spend time together, but we wouldn't show any affection or express sort of how much the other person meant to us. And I didn't reach out to any of those friends. Harry Potter became a big part of my life because I think the message of the books, at least, is a message of interactions with people and of friendships and of love. And at the time in my life that I reread them in high school, I think that was a critical message. Hufflepuff represents friendship and valuing relationships with people. I wanted to be successful, but I mostly learned that I wanted to be happy. And then I decided, well, okay, I need to prioritize my happiness. Prioritize people, but at the same time, do my best to be successful as well. But not pushing myself too far, because everyone has limits. When I started looking at colleges, I was still very interested in coming to Middlebury, but I almost tried to talk myself out of it. I tried to say, like, okay, it can't be as good as I'm imagining. I have to go look at other schools, and then eventually I'll look at Middlebury and see how it compares. And I went to a lot of small liberal arts schools, but Middlebury, it just felt like a community, and it felt like someone might go out of their way to really encourage you to be a part of this place. So my oldest brother, he started out going to Williams, then transferred to Wesleyan. He was a varsity basketball player, so he was doing that all the time, and he felt very alone. Didn't make a lot of friends at first. Watching that happen, I think, is what made me so interested in going to Middlebury, because on the one hand, I had this one brother who was so unhappy that he didn't know what to do anymore, and then I had my other brother be in a place that he felt so supported and happy that he was thriving. I applied to late decision, and I heard back that I had been deferred. I added film and artwork to my application and applied to a couple other schools just so that I'd have other options, hopefully, if I didn't get in. After kind of throwing everything that I had at it, I got in regular decision. Once you get older, it's really easy to look at the things that little kids are doing and say things like, oh, I'm so above that. I don't play imaginary games because I'm sophisticated. And that's the thing you have to leave behind when you go play Quidditch. If you're so focused on looking like an idiot, you'll feel like an idiot. But if you forget about that and just live in the moment and experience it when you're playing Quidditch, that's when you have fun. Here at Middlebury, Quidditch is probably a big part of my life because it represents a world where even with magical things, the most important thing is the company that you have and the experiences that you get to share with them and loving each other through everything.